Hello, and welcome to Childcare Challenges and Dilemma in Daycare. I know it's been a while. It has been a while, unfortunately, but there's so much that has been going on that the passionate that need to do the dilemma, the challenges, and new and like absolutely new thing that came out for childcare providers. And I'm so excited to share it first in my family. New Mexico, congratulations, New Mexico. First ever state to make the universal childcare free for all. So that means for providers, new recruitment, new demand, expansion, new expanding, right? So know that you don't have to pay for childcare. We should just struggle for many families. So that working, right, and non-working, for both freelance sites, and they're single and couple, right? We have a struggle in paying for childcare. The struggle feeling like you have to be working just to pay for childcare. And I understand that when I'm a mother, right? Before I started mine, like in my previous study, I stated my income outweighs the amount that I have to pay for providers for family childcare, so I tend to open mine. So with that said, and I want to congratulate all the New Mexico providers. Congratulations, right? Hopefully our state could get there. I know our state got a universal people for a while, which Connecticut this passed, and congratulations on us. I want to make the motion with it for providers in Connecticut. They feel like it's mostly center based, right? They feel like this benefit will not benefit us as family conflict providers. Where does that leave us? And I'm like, okay, we're talking about this, but there's a lot of oversaturated providers, right? There's more providers and there's more kids. That's what's going on in the state that I'm in, that I'm hearing from providers. When it's forcing providers to close their homes. With this program that New Mexico built, I hope and pray the family child care providers when seasonally to have to choose between closing their home because of this program. It sounds on brand as something good. It's a good step to put family child care forward. Give them a chance to explain and give them the chance to make more money. Right? Give them the chance to be able to feed their family. Connecticut back over to Connecticut on the other hand, where we're struggling with I'm hearing providers calling me, I have no children, right? But I demand get an associate degree, get a CDO, get, it's something. Get an automatic better get things, and kayak accredited. And all these accreditation and all these demands to improve your education, which is good, right? That's good. Always education is the best. Always make sure we want to educate ourselves better, understand the community we serve and the children. Because if we just in the dark and the time, it's not really going to be able to do to help them. So, to be able to nurture learning benefits physically, psychologically, help the young ones, help the children. With the universal pre-K that we have, which I feel a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of mixed emotion about it. I was written that for it, right? I am for the universal pre-K. So I tell everyone that would advocate for it, the universal pre-K for children. So come on, we have a lot of parents that kids probably children in childcare just to stay home with them. But then here's the option you have if you feel because they're good and bad and everything. If you feel that putting my child in a daycare center with so many stuff going on, and even in school setting, there's a lot of stuff going on, but then people really feel safer having the children in the school setting, then you have that option, right? If you want to put them in a center base, you have that option. And this is where we come in as family childcare provider. This is what my opinion in this universal pre-K. How does that benefit us? Where do we stand in that? Where do family childcare stand in it? You expand, they have expansion grant. They have emergency grant. We have so many grants, but where the family childcare stand? I know we get it, but we could get all the grants, but if there's no money coming in to do it, if there's no children, how can we do it? If one block have 20 to 30 different providers around and what's the competition like? How do I feed my family when I have like 4, 5, 6, 7 providers in the room block? This is something that nobody wants to talk about. I'm not saying to regulate. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for providers. Before you open your family childcare, check the demographic, check the location, check to find out how many providers are in your area, check to see how are they doing. And offer something if you have no choice. And you're like, you know, I live here. And this is what I purchased my home, and this is what I'm going to do. It's something that your fellow providers are. Share it with other providers. Let's make this a community base. What we all do for one another. You know, providers are they scared. They can't do this. They're becoming all this afraid. Going back to school. Yes, to have more kids on daycare. But we hear them on the demand that parents have for childcare. All the inquiries, all the governments, we hear is such wonderful thing. As a family childcare provider. You know, you got 3,000 kids on the waiting list. I'm recruiting this fund. He's not going like what I have to say, but hey, it is what it is, right? As I always said, in the country that we live in, not the country that everyone remains silent. We hear all this thing about, hey, we have a waiting list. I have parents, you hear providers, I have parents that didn't hear for kids waiting list for 4, 5, 6 months. Are they going to get for 5, 6 months? No. For the universal free K for all, I would not leave us. I know it's not accepting children 0 to 2 years old. So those children we have from 0 to 2 years old are waiting list 4, 5, 6 months. That first provider is either cooking. We're going to charge parent, and certificate going. Are you retroactive? 6 months later? No. He's going to say it's fine that you were provided off the waiting list. You know, I get too retroactive. So one provider is thinking, okay, I have a picture and say, the waiting list for kids for 6 months. No, you cannot find it out. Call certificate. You come in the waiting list. Childcare are only allowed to provide care for 21,000. They have 21,500. And they come in like what, 2,000? 2,007? 2,000 children, that's on the waiting list. Childcare is so backed up right now. They so many people from January, last year, December, maybe September. We want to find out how does these universal, how does these types of ones, how does this affect the average family childcare provider that's currently not on a Head Start, not CDA, not NAFI accredited, not accredited for all this? How does that affect those providers that have been in business for years? Now we're pushing them out. How does this providers survive if this is the only thing that they have with us as an income? We can't provide us crime. You see, Tasheianna, there's nothing we could do. What we did was help. Like I said, I advertise for my daycare, and when I get those forms, I forward it to them. What we have to do, we have to come together, the community, to find a solution. As providers, we're in this together. And like I said, New Mexico, congratulations. Universal for free childcare means in the waiting list. You have to have 3,000, 4,000 parents. You don't have to have providers thinking the children they go, how they can afford to pay your rent. You don't have to have providers doing business, right? Let's face reality. They can do second, first, second, third job, 1, 2, and 3 jobs on the side hustle. that provided that doing screening. It is really, well, okay, I know it's most for centers. I'm all for centers. Hey, I'm not against centers. Do what you gotta do. Like I always said, don't hate the player, hate the game. If the game is, well, centers are getting more benefit, and that's what family child care providers anyway. Which a lot of them are already opening up centers. Kudos to you. Great job. Everyone out there that don't, is not interested in opening centers. I hear a lot, and I see a lot of people that's truthfully ignored because they're afraid of the backlash. They're afraid of the retaliation. But why are we in a job that we feel like if we spoke the way that they feel, that is not suitable for their language? If we do not speak their language, then guess what? You are. You're not one of us. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about why providers are afraid of speaking out. The struggle that they go through. The struggle that they face in because of this thing. The struggle that they feel when they got, okay, universal. Universal child care. Does it mean universal child care for providers? And guess what? They have a program coming out, which owned by 30 providers, and it goes by your space, your town, your location. So each year they go from 30 providers on it. If each provider, if you don't have that space, that like the playground, to put the kid, if you're not, you're out. If you have like a small living room, a small area that you're working, what does that leave you? Let's talk about every provider. How can we accommodate all providers? I know you cannot accommodate everyone, and we have to understand that they will have to accommodate everyone. But how can we make sure that those providers don't just have their living room and don't have the space to expand? Also, continue maintaining for their family without the fear of thinking, I'm going to close. Those providers that rent an apartment and decide, you know, there's too much, I won't help to pay my rent, so I'm going to start a family child care. How? That's providers that do family child care and still get 3 rooms to go to work. Work in a nursing home. Still get up to go to work. They have room. But I don't have any kids. I have 2 children. I have 4 of them on the waiting list. And they been in this for 6 months. How can you fill this job? But yes, sir, remember, the only 3,000 surviving children or 2,011 children that's in the waiting list is going to get accepted unless 2,000 children fall off. If 2,000 children are falling off, then those 2,000 children, 2,000 children that invited off the waiting list. So that's how it works. In order for other children to get on to get a place for care for kids, someone has to leave. But no one until somebody until they add their funds, until they decide that, you know what, we need to serve more than 21,000. We need to serve 23. We need to serve 25. There's more than the supply, which we obviously know as providers that the demand is greater than the supply. 21,000 kids are only quickly. It's 21. Children that need it. 21,000 for the state of Connecticut. What are we talking here? The taxes are so high here. Come on. We pay so many taxes. Yes, we cannot look out for the community. I should have thought of that. 21,000, 22,000, you said 23,000. We pay so many taxes here in Connecticut, it's ridiculous. Where are our taxes going? What are taxes going? Nobody does talk about that. You don't want to taxes, you buy your car, you still have to pay taxes on it. The computer, the furniture in your house that you do business with, the fridge that you have in your house, you still have to pay taxes on it, so you don't have a business in your house. Even though it's yours, you already pay taxes on every given. You expand on your home, that's what the property goes up, which is okay, because then that value raised. But if they're going to do that, in the expansion, but can they afford to pay the taxes? And that's what we next. Can you afford to pay the taxes each year when you go up? So this universal free K is it beneficial for family childcare provider? Is it beneficial for centers in school? What is beneficial? It's beneficial. Let's look it up. Let's see what it says. Right? The Mexico provides free universal childcare starting November of 2025, which means family childcare provider can expect increased demand and need for recruitment and expansion and potential increase in reimbursement rates as the state invests in boosting supply and improving quality. That's what New Mexico, like I said, great job. Great job to you in New Mexico. I am so proud of you. Okay? And now, increase the family childcare provider, not only family childcare provider, but centers like in school. So are you going to hear family childcare provider in New Mexico saying, I'm thinking of closing my door because they need children? That's how the state of France could adopt this. But we don't have to worry about people going into depression because they can afford to put food on the table. They're ready to be turned off. Their light is being turned off. The confidence that we see. Let's try to read about this silent, okay? Universal free in Connecticut. That's what we're going to look at. That was New Mexico. Okay? So we need to see how does this affect us, the universal free K, the Connecticut. I'm not going to come and talk about it. But like I said, everyone is afraid of what the backlash, the when we come back, the retaliation. Universal childcare, I meant to say, I'm sorry, universal childcare. Okay, in Connecticut, I went to universal free care program by 2028. I guess that's right. Universal free care by 2028, right? Offering childcare children aged 6 weeks to 5 years old. The cost accepted a maximum of 7% of family income. Families earn up to $100,000 a year receive nothing for childcare. Okay? So this is free, so you pay nothing for childcare. They own, right? And the legislation also includes visas and improved salaries for childcare workers, the new classroom, and increased number of available staff. Income-based families will pay subsidized fees based on their income with a cost cap of 7% of their household care. Free care for rental families, family earning up to $100,000 per year receive care at no cost. Expansion for free care access. The fund aims to add significant number of subsidy for free care slots to ensure that the 2032 that's the majority of city in Connecticut free care population have access to program, improve workers' pay and condition, right? Increase capacity. So that's what it is. Let's do it. Focus on high quality care. Statewide impact. But that is some of the stuff that we will be getting for universal free care. So what do they have to do with family child care? Leading family childcare and universal childcare system mean access to free or significant subsidy care for children aged 6 weeks to 5 years. The cost cap the percentage of income for those of them that need contract wholesale, as well as improved pay and benefits for childcare workers. So the same thing we're saying, the family childcare program. The family childcare will be having, I see the increase, family income day 7%. So that would be great. 7% of the income up to 100,000. Make under 100,000, then it's less, right? So it's basically free on the cost. So I'm family childcare feeling the impact of every time that there's something the family childcare feel like they feel the impact of it. Family childcare providers feel drained and the strain of like I'm hearing them advertising, you gotta be out there, you gotta hustle, right? It's like a dog eat dog world, that's what they said. It was a dog eat dog world, that's what the average person said. But how can we expect them to survive when it's so oversaturated with childcare, with family childcare? How can we survive? How can we know to choose when you have 4, 5, 6 providers? You have to hear it. You have to see it. How they literally on the everyone used to have kids like you see like hungry dog, you have them finally out there, you see all the dogs like they have to eat, they come and they jump there. The little children and family childcare have to be, hustling and hustling. How to find how to find children. Here we go. That's a solution. I know there's no state that regulates where you can and cannot open families a daycare, a business, right? So it's up to us as family childcare to go and do diligent research to find out, okay, this person needs to be have a family childcare. Okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do in order if I'm going to open a daycare there? So providers, my advice to you is before you open a daycare, get to know the area that you live in. Someone learn how to site that will tell you where to work for family childcare. How to around your area. You get to see all these people around the area. There's half places that they call the desert area, that desert area. We need family childcare. Then you guys to go to that one and everything there. I know sometimes we still comfortable in our own home and in our zone, but sometimes in order to succeed, we have to step out of that comfort zone. We have to step out and find other ways how to become more successful. We need to step out of our comfort zone. You know, outside is okay. Outside your town is okay. I know the people new stuff starting over I know that there. So I know okay, am I going to succeed? How are the people in that area? How are they? The community. If I go there, it's open on how they're going to receive me, how they're going to receive me, am I going to go there? And I know they did when they have something where there was a map that showed the need for family childcare for daycare. Also the central family childcare, the need for daycare. So, same town, it's oversaturated. I don't know how it is in New York. I don't know if that has something to tell me if they face that problem in New York, because in Connecticut, I know every state, but it's oversaturated of one town. It's struggling. Family childcare is struggling. They're really struggling, holding their home, holding their business, crying out for help for someone, trying to find anywhere that they can help. They can find a help. Taking another 1 and 2 jobs. And that's how it's what they do. they hop from one to another. They're like, okay, I could go to this one, I could go to that one. Family childcare need that help. They need help. They need a way to have their business. We don't expand the 12 age group, right? We're going to do the 12 age group daycare. Now we expand to 12, then we expand 9 to 12. And we don't have the 12 children to fill it. You and me, for example, I don't have a kid, but I'm just saying, you and me, for example, say I send my program to 12 kids. How am I going to get my 12 children? If I don't want to be part of Head Start or the Real Start that you don't have going on, and I have like 5, 6 different family childcare. I don't have that in my area, but like I said, I'm saying use me for example, because I know some of y'all gonna look at my address since it's public and be like, you don't have that on here. Are you right? I don't, and I'm using me for an example. What does that leave us? What would that leave me? I explain my daycare, but yes, but I'm still in the room in it. I have all the qualification, but yes, I'm willing to teach. Make sure that I expand and my expansion works for me. Because remember, if I expand, now, now with expansion, there's some German, there's some more taxes, and more taxes. Now, with the more taxes that comes in, and turns out, when I pay for those taxes, but now my mortgage, if my house is not paid off, my mortgage goes up because the taxes included in the mortgage. Now that goes up. These are some of the issues that's going on that expansion is done. Yeah, it's up to me to decide whether I want to do that or not. It's up to me to find out if that's going to be beneficial for me. Yes, you're right. I have to do my homework. I have to do my research. Yes, you're right. You're 100% right. I need to be a candidate. I need I need that 12 kids. So I don't have to wait 2, 3 years. And I'm just going to fill that gap. That's my thing. How can we fill the gap of the 3,000 children and there's like almost 4,000 providers in Connecticut, licensed and unlicensed providers? How can we fill the gap? What do we have to do to fill the gap? There's so many children in need and so many children in need. So many parents are looking for childcare. Parents are choosing to send their children back home, but you guys said that only 21,000 children, only 22,000 children, 21 to 22,000 kids. You guys could serve for the whole state of Connecticut. We got to do better. We have to do better. We can fill my gap. We don't have to have people wait for 6 months. Providers can't afford to pay their bill and they have a lot of their health care. They're going to get paid 6 months later. We're going to get all 6 months back. We don't have providers that say, like, you know what, this is the children, keep the children in care. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to charge them 10% of whatever care for kids we're willing to give. I'm going to charge them 15. I'm going to charge them half. I'm going to charge them quarter. I'm not going to charge them. I'm just going to keep them there. And that is free. Okay. So what we reduce it in the person is planning to get the market. That's something you need to be informative section providers and letting them know. Because our providers and your mom family child care, that's anyone that like to speak up and not speak English. So if you have to send it on in Spanish and Creole and Japanese, we have to send it out in. We need to be informative sessions so that these providers know to listen. You want to tell me so much question. And I think from January of last year, I'm going to use this example from December, from January of this year, from March of this year. I understand that they have sessions. But most of them don't understand some of their concentration skills and a lot of people learning ability are different. And we have to go step to let them know that with them. But even after we had a community meeting, explaining How does the care for kids work? That it's all about the start 20,000, 21,000 or 22,000 per year. And the following children are 3,000 children, or 1,000 children, or 2,000 children, or 100 children. I'm giving you numbers, that's that. You will research it yourself. Okay. You'll get it for the kids who's like 1,000 children, either one children, two children, drop off the program. Now, how do those people get dropped off the program? They make $1 over. You didn't know that. They go back to sending a paper. They go back to sending a renewal packet. Now, guess what? They lose that because they forgot thinking that, oh, I did everything. Or they forgot they forgot their case down. They forgot to do something. Because what everyday life hit those families. So now they lose their services and not other family. Our kids age out. So we know we go up to 13, our kids age out. That's how kids age out. People move out of college, decide to get into the program. Ways that people get invited back in. Okay, the waiting list. Someone drop in, someone age out, someone moves in. Someone just getting you this parents, their agreement, their certificate. Someone getting me out, I forgot to send, I thought I send everything in. Oh, you have 30 days past. Yeah, it's real negligent. Yeah, they should be on top of it, but let's get life in, right? Even though my kids go to school sometimes, I need to get to read. I'm like, there's no school today. And they email, they text it to you. But you still busy caught up with everything else. That's why I said, I need to get life in. You know what tomorrow may bring. You know what it takes to me because tomorrow is guaranteed to no one without himself. What I'm saying is that we need to fill this gap. Make free childcare like New Mexico did. Make Connecticut be the second state for free childcare, and that's how we fill the gap. Free childcare for all. You get it. And I think they say regardless of your income, I'm not sure, but you can do that research. Free childcare. Because our future, which are the children, should not have to suffer. How long is it being left out? Now you're driving because you can't afford to find childcare. So the in the back seat. People interviewing decide that, let me children right here while I do this interview real quick. And that future should not have to pay the price. You know, I can't take this job because if I take the job, I can't afford to pay childcare. Why are all the future suffering? It's time to Connecticut to say free childcare for all. We have come a long way. We have been doing a lot better because when I first started, remember what I said? We were making like $1. And now we're taking our $400 and which not that it may not be a lot for you, but it's a lot. We're coming today. We have, and we continue to grow. But we need to be in New Mexico that make free childcare for all. So we could close that gap where people are on the waiting list 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, 3 months. I have to take a second or a third job. Or I have to take a childcare because I can't afford to. And I get more kids. No, you have a program that you put on a time and then you send you. Hey, you know how to teach adult with kids. How am I going to know this kid is going to compare them to children? What's a guarantee? No, you have to work. It's so bad for the children that you have to pay. But the children cost to them. Let's talk about it. That's why they're telling me, listen, I find this parents don't pay for anything. Advertise. We can do all the advertising. providers are so busy, I think we have to pay whatever it is to have this program succeed. That was the company and that became something ridiculous. It was statement for 200, they charging 75. And then when you look at the statement, you consider that. I consider a lot of wow, that you become more passionate. Yes, you consider a lot because you make a statement because you don't believe in what they believe in. So your voice turned out differently. How does that leave us? We're supposed to be in a free country, quote unquote. Freedom of speech, but speech ain't free. Look, Charlie Kirk got killed for his beliefs, right? So I think he went right because of part of my skin. Killed us. At the end of the day, I don't know him, he don't know me. He don't have a heart for me or anyone. I don't think he deserves to get killed for his beliefs. I have my own belief. I don't think it's ridicule me for the way I speak, for the way I believe, or what I am. Trying to impose their belief on me. That's another episode. Today, what I'm saying is that we need to talk about childcare. We need to close the gap of the waiting list. Make childcare for all. Free childcare. Great job in universal pre-K. Great job in the 7%. Great job in the pilot program. Great job in getting what we getting. Stop. Fabulous work of a team, and like I said, I was going to advocate for it. Doing this, it was going to get. Honestly thought that. I do. I was ignorant enough not to do my research. But this is going to make an impact immediately. But I was like, listen, I was going to go to you have kids. No, I don't know. I'm here in Paris, so I got to go to the food pantry. I need provided that I go to the food pantry because I have to choose between paying the bill and going to the food pantry because I don't have one child, two child, three child, four child. I mean, license for 6 and 9. I can't get 4. I can't get 6. I don't have my substitute. I have to pay my substitute. But I have to lay off my substitute because I don't have enough kids for the substitute. How can we make sure that providers is able to pay substitute is able to do what they have to do without killing their goals? And with that said, we can figure out how to their providers. And that was the start of our community. The way work for all. We don't want to be in New Mexico. The next New Mexico to say free childcare for all. That should be our next one. Free childcare for all. The parents of the providers have to struggle. Let's make House Connecticut next to free childcare for all. Regardless of income. Now that will open the door and tell that in this. We need a competition. That would make everyone is able to provide for their family. That would make providers don't have to go to food pantry and wait and run behind and get a family. Just to make sure that they have food for their family. Every year I go about that, I give back to give to the community. The union gave me $250 to put towards it. Thanks to you guys. Thank you. Thank you, Queen Freedom, for giving me $100 this year. That thing costs me over $6,000 every year to put them in my pocket. I don't think it's a donation, but I know it's a donation from the union and they give that to me. So thank you. I do that at home. Only myself is my friends that are struggling with that. Food. To show the appreciation to my community. And I do it strongly by myself. things, as I said, will come in, stop everything, make sure the line goes smoothly, and other providers from the union will come in, and make sure everything is stopped, so the line could be so overwhelming of people that come with it. And sometimes you're like, wow. Because you give your children that the beginning of the year, right? And constantly the beginning of the year, right? And if you have kids, you already know those kids make further things, habits, the one of the beginning of the year. You have to think about the beginning. So how can you fit into the beginning? So that the children are fed and good and then everything to meet us. And then childcare classes on top of it. The course I had another parent that was a little parent. Experience of this thing. And then we started, and she said, why this childcare, one child, costs so much? She has to pay that around $450 a week for her son, and she had like three. She and her husband doing it together. No, $450 a week. We run there for times three. And the girl really struggled. And then when you try to do stuff, guess what? And when you try to program them, they will be charging. That's another thing. You're like, no, we're not paying for that. You gotta be better in your quality. But we supposed to try to get payment. The money. If they try to be program the money, they create a conflict. So what does the providers say, you know, I'm going to deal with it. This program that I want to pay. And requirements is so demanding that I have to do it. When the time and my mental health and child care provider I'm not getting children. So it's not that I'm not getting children and you do my thing. I'm gonna take this one I have, I'm gonna take this through, I'm gonna try to get less. And I could have taken, yes, I'm gonna take a third job. I'm gonna take a second job. I think I a third job. I try to be with you for 10, 13 years. What do you spend time with your family? I'm gonna do weekends, I'm gonna do 7 days a week. I'm making sure that we can make it. It's not about single parents. If two parents have them still in the depth of nature, single parents, and unless you're the top 1%, and unless you're making 6-figure income, even though that's making 6-figure income is failing. So, let's start Connecticut, free childcare for all. That's what we need. The providers, a second job. The providers have to sit in the country, I get some food stamp because I can't afford to. Family child care providers are living it. I gotta get some food stamp, because I can't afford it. I rely on the food stamp and I don't know what I'm doing. But I get Medicaid when I can't afford to come out my account to the people with insurance. You don't know how to get insurance now. You can't use the Medicare. Thank you. And we don't get it, so we don't afford it. These providers. Well, it's hard providers talking and speaking like this, I don't know what to do. This is the only thing I know what to do. So we call the job of free childcare for all. For Connecticut. And like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching Childcare Challenges and the building a good job. And again, my name is Tasheianna O'Connor, and I will see you again.